Have you ever sat in the silence of your own home, surrounded by everything you've achieved, and felt like a stranger? Have you ever looked at your life, at your relationships, at your career, a life that, on paper, seems right, and yet felt an echo, a hollow space in the center of your being that no achievement, no person, no distraction can fill? It's a type of silent pain, a nameless void, a thirst, but you don't know for what. Society teaches us to fear this feeling, to diagnose it as depression, as anxiety, as a sign that something is wrong with us. We rush to fill it with more work, more shopping, more noise, another relationship, anything to avoid facing the vastness that lives within us. But what if this emptiness is not an enemy? What if it's not a sign that something is missing on the outside? What if the pain that haunts you is, in fact, a calling? A call to the most important journey of your life, the journey back home, back to yourself. I know what it's like to feel this. You might feel lonely, even when surrounded by people, as if a part of you lives in a language that no one else can understand. Perhaps you live on autopilot, fulfilling all your obligations, but with the terrifying feeling that you are losing yourself in the process. It's the feeling of being disconnected from purpose, from something greater, a nostalgia for a place you don't even know if it ever existed. You look in the mirror and see a familiar face, but the soul behind the eyes seems distant. The sparkle, that sparkle you once had, seems to have faded. You try everything. You search for answers in psychology, in religion, in self-help books, and although you find temporary relief, the emptiness returns, because it is not a problem to be solved by the mind. It is a message. The emptiness you feel is not the absence of something external. It is the presence of your soul asking to be heard. It is the space it creates within you so that you finally stop, turn inward, and listen to your own call. You are not broken, you are being reborn, and every rebirth begins in the dark, in the void. We live in a civilization that is terrified of silence. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded with notifications, news, noises, demands. We fill every crack in our time with podcasts, music, conversations, screens. Stillness has become uncomfortable. Being alone with one's own thoughts has become an act of courage. The culture teaches us that doing nothing is to be unproductive, useless, that our value lies in our hustle, in our ability to produce and keep busy. But this is the great illusion. The constant noise of the external world and of our own restless mind is what keeps us on the surface of life. It's what prevents us from diving into the deep waters of our being. Silence is not absence, it is presence. It is not emptiness, it is space. It is the sacred space where the noise of the ego quiets down and the subtle voice of your essence can finally emerge. The soul doesn't scream, it whispers, and it can only be heard in the stillness. Think of silence as fertile soil. The mind, with its incessant noise, is like a wind that doesn't let any seed settle. But when the wind stops, the seed of your inner truth can finally find the earth, germinate and grow. This emptiness you fear is, in fact, the sacred ground of your transformation. Who is it that calls in this silence? What is this voice that whispers? Wisdom traditions around the world have given it many names: the higher self, the divine spark, Christ consciousness, Atman, your essence. The name doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling. Your higher self is not a separate entity floating somewhere in the sky. It is the deepest, wisest, and most authentic part of who you are. It is your pure consciousness, free from the masks, fears, and conditioning of the ego. The ego, your personality, is like the wave on the surface of the ocean. It is agitated, transient, identified with its momentary form. The higher self is the ocean itself, vast, deep, calm, eternal. It is the totality of who you are. This part of you was never born, and will never die. It knows your purpose. It knows the way. It remembers your connection to the source, to the universe. It is your inner compass, your beacon. The emptiness you feel is the result of a spiritual amnesia. At some point in the journey, we identified so much with the wave, with our name, our profession, our roles as a child, a parent, a professional, that we forgot we are the entire ocean. And the soul, in its infinite love for us, creates this feeling of emptiness to remind us, hey, remember your vastness. Come home. How did we forget? We are born connected. A young child lives in a state of almost pure presence. They are their joy, their anger, their curiosity. They don't judge themselves, they simply are. But then, the world begins to teach us. Don't cry. Be a good boy. That's not for you. You need to be successful. You need to be loved. We slowly learn that to be accepted and loved, we need to cut off pieces of ourselves. We create a mask, a persona that is pleasing to others. This persona is the ego, and it does a good job. It helps us navigate the world, achieve goals, build a life. But the danger comes when we believe the mask is our true face. We spend our lives polishing this mask, seeking external validation for it. Applause, diplomas, status, followers. And each achievement of the ego, paradoxically, can distance us a little more from our essence, until one day the soul says, enough. The crisis arrives. It could be a breakup, a job loss, an illness, or just this deep, inexplicable void. It is the loving intervention of your higher self. It is the universe breaking the mirror of your ego so that you can see your true face behind it. The way back is not to build something new. It is to unlearn, to undress, to have the courage to remove the masks one by one. It is a return to simplicity, to authenticity, to the vulnerability of your true being. It is allowing yourself to be instead of constantly doing. So, how do you begin this journey back? How do you learn to hear the whispers of the soul amidst the noise of the world? This is not about a magic formula. It's about cultivating a new relationship with yourself. It is an invitation to gentleness, patience, and deep listening. Create pockets of silence. It doesn't have to be an hour of meditation a day. Start with what's possible. 5 minutes. Turn everything off. The phone, the TV, the music. Sit in silence. Just feel. Feel your breath. Feel your body. At first, your mind will scream. It will bombard you with to-do lists, worries, judgments. Don't fight it. Just observe it, like watching clouds pass in the sky. Let the thoughts come and go. Beneath the noise, there is a silence. Each day you practice, you get closer to this place of peace. Silence is the doorway. Listen to the wisdom of the body. Your body is an instrument of your soul. It speaks to you all the time through sensations. That tightness in your chest, that lump in your throat, that feeling of expansion and lightness, this is not random. It is your soul saying yes or no. Before making an important decision, stop, breathe, and ask your body, how does this feel to you? Learn to trust this somatic intelligence. Your body listens to everything your soul whispers. It is your truest oracle. 3. Follow the golden threads of joy and curiosity. When was the last time you did something simply because it brought you joy, with no other purpose? What sparked your curiosity as a child before the world told you what was useful? Your soul often speaks through these subtle impulses. That inexplicable desire to learn an instrument, to walk in nature, to read about a topic that has nothing to do with your career. These are golden threads that your higher self throws to you to guide you back home. Follow them. They will lead you to hidden treasures within yourself. Dialogue with the void. Instead of running from the feeling of emptiness, try something radical. Welcome it. When it comes, sit with it as if it were a messenger. Close your eyes and ask it, with genuine curiosity, what have you come to show me? What part of me is asking to be seen? What truth am I ignoring? Don't expect an answer in words. The answer may come as a feeling, an image, a memory. The void ceases to be an abyss when you illuminate it with your consciousness. This journey of reconnection requires immense courage, because to find who you truly are, you will need to let go of who you thought you were. You might discover that the career you built for 20 years no longer feeds your soul. You might realize that some relationships were based on your mask, not on your true self. It may be that by connecting with your truth, you disappoint people who were accustomed to your old version. There will be grief. Grief for the life you will no longer live. Grief for the identities that gave you security. It's like the seed. For the magnificent sprout to be born, the hard shell of the seed must completely break open in the dark. This breaking is painful, but it is the sacred pain of birth. Not all pain comes to harm. Some comes to heal. And the pain of disconnecting from what is no longer true for you is the force that propels you into the freedom of your own soul. The emptiness you felt was not a lack of something. It was an excess of everything that was not you. It was your soul patiently sweeping the house, clearing the debris, making space so that you could finally enter and inhabit yourself fully. You are not lost. You are being called to the safest place in the universe, your own center. The silence you feared is the portal to your greatest strength. The loneliness that scared you is, in fact, the opportunity for a sacred communion with your own divinity. The next time you feel the echo of the void, do not run. Take a deep breath, smile, and whisper back, "I am here, I am listening, show me the way home." Because the universe did not give you a purpose to fulfill, it made you the purpose. Your journey is not to become something you are not. It is to remember gloriously everything that you already are. And what if all of this isn't happening to you but for you? What if the emptiness is simply the universe giving you space to bloom?